Hi, I'm Alan Ross. I'm the managing editor of APC Media's publications, Transformer Technology, Power Systems Technology, and Women in Power Systems. We're here at the IEEE PEST&D conference in Anaheim in 2024, the 60th anniversary. These interviews are with thought leaders to be able to bring the best of the marketplace to you. My next guest is Dave Meyers. He's the CEO of H2Scan, a company that I was familiar with because I did some work with you for about a year, didn't I?
That's right, Alan.
I told you it was 12 months, and 11 months in, I said, I'm done. Okay, it was a good thing.
Good to see you again. Thanks for having me.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed working with and for you. I learned a lot about the hydrogen industry, and hope I brought some value to it. What I want to talk about, Dave, first of all, your background, because this is a different interview. How did you get into the power industry? Because that's where you are, even though it's hydrogen.
Yes, that is true. How I got into this industry was I was working for a company that developed products. We were approached by a large industrial in the energy industry and said, can you develop a product for us? And the product included hydrogen sensors. So we searched and interviewed a bunch of different companies and said, where's the best hydrogen sensor? And everybody pointed to H2Scan.
Right.
So as part of that, I got to know the company, and I was responsible for M&A and investments. And so through that relationship, I ended up with the company making an investment in H2Scan. And then after that was on the board of directors. And then when the former CEO retired, I took over as CEO and into the industry, as they say.
Dennis, the former CEO, was a friend, and it was good for him to retire. He'd done it a long time, and that M&A was a great thing for him and for the company because it needed new blood, fresh blood, a new injection, a new future. So we'll get to the overall company. Right. I want to talk about a love that I have, and something I used to share with you, and you would look at me like, what are you talking about? Now you were the passionate one about this. The retrofit market for transformers to retrofit a hydrogen monitor, but it's no longer just a hydrogen monitor.
Right.
It's got to be the installation part of it. It's got to be communication and other things. Talk to me about that program at H2Scan.
Yeah, I think taking a step back, our business prior, when I joined, was really focused on providing hydrogen sensors to OEM manufacturers of DGA systems.
Right.
We made I'll call it the hydrogen sensor inside, and that was our business. The opportunity, though, really, if you look at the transformer monitoring market, you have distribution transformers, you have transmission transformers, and then you have new transformers, and you have installed base. And if you look at the size of the market opportunity on the distribution installed base is 100x new transformers, basically, if you assume they fail at a 1% rate or something like that. So for me, the opportunity was there. And I think the market dynamics developed such that it became a need, with the supply chain issues on the transformer, the lead time and the costs going up. There was a need to protect the assets going forward for these utilities and industrial users. So we observed that opportunity, and we decided we would take our existing products to that market. And the challenge was with our existing products, it was a hydrogen sensor. It wasn't a solution. Right. So we couldn't really enable that business without having solutions. So what we've been doing in the last couple of years is investing in the development of solutions to go after that market. And at this show, we are introducing those products to go after that market. And if you look at the market need standpoint, why would they want to monitor these assets? Obviously, there's the dynamic of they can't replace them easily, so therefore let's protect what we have. But the reality is the loading and need for those transformers is higher. So you have issues, run to failure works as long as you don't cause a wildfire, right? So that's important. And but the other side of it is the resources necessary to do standard, I'll call manual sampling monitoring of transformers are graying out, or it's tough to get the people. But the way we look at it is that as part of to really understand the grid, you've got to have information. And so for us, the step was you need a hydrogen sensor, you need a way to connect it, You need a way to analyze that data.
Yeah,
And so what we've done is to make a set of products to enable a turnkey solution for these users that want to monitor these assets.
That's good, because we were talking with a transformer manufacturer, the largest in North America, I think a customer of H2Scan, Virginia and Georgia Transformer. They are primarily they're heavily into the industrial market.
Right.
Okay. They're 3 years out in the industrial market. And the industrial market are abusers of transformers.
Yeah.
They are running them hot and everything. And they didn't plan. They didn't get into the cycle where the utilities are buying slots. They're buying out the capacity, and the capacity can't keep up a lot. So today, it's even worse that the industrial, commercial markets, data centers, they got to keep the old transformers running. They got to know the condition of them all the time. That's
right.
Like the annual sample won't do it anymore.
Right.
But I can't
Yeah.
applaud you for it's a positive market move.
It is. The market momentum's there, and I think these industrial users are now beginning to see the importance of monitoring,
Yeah.
and because they know they can't replace those assets, and their business depends upon power.
So
if your
did you-
business depends upon power, you've got to make sure it's available.
If you make steel, you need furnaces that run on these furnace transformers that shake when they power. What are the things that you did to go from being the hydrogen, like Intel inside, H2Scan inside, to saying, okay, we're going to be your monitoring company? What are the things you had to create? Obvious communications, but did you do it in-house, or did you?
So first thing, it's obviously a bunch of market information. To make great products, you have to understand the customer's use needs and all that kind of stuff. So really, how do you engage customers and gather those needs? And the really way to do that is to go out in the field and provide something that may not be perfect, but you start gathering the information on the product. So we did that. We tried to get pilots in the field. We talked to customers. We gathered that information. And then we, as a company, we built an engineering team to sort of develop these products.
Okay.
And so we started out, with concepts and initial ideas, and then actually delivered, I'll call, the core aspects of our business. So if you think about a business, you have things that are core to your business, and you have things that are context to your business. If, for example, in this scenario is that a wireless solution is not core to our business.
Right.
The solution it's needed, but it's like that's not what we do well.
Right.
We do sensors well. So we work with partners, we work with vendors and so forth of these components, and we have sort of put those pieces together to build a final product.
Well, you said you have to have data to make a decision.
Yeah.
Where does the data go? Because communications, now you can send it somewhere.
Yeah, so, as part of the pilot program, obviously you can make better decisions with more data, and anybody that understands machine learning or analytic or AI stuff understands that you have to have data sets to process in order to make good decisions. So our goal is to really, through these pilot programs and initial customers, is to build analytics that support the data decision-making process. And so it hasn't been really done before of just single hydrogen measurement of transformers, but we believe we can get a lot of data out of that and build analytics on top of it to improve the understanding of the risks associated with the transformers and improve the performance of the transformers.
The biggest test done in every lab everywhere is the DGA, dissolved gas analysis. And the industry has kind of accepted that as the standard. You take the DGA and that'll tell you what's going. Do you think there's a potential to say, no, you know what, we can give you data. We can't tell you what the DGA would tell you, but we can tell you, continue to run it, monitor it.
Right.
Don't worry about it, continue to run it, or take it out of service because you're about to lose it, and put your spare in place if you have one, or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that the kind of analytics you're talking about?
Yeah. So I think, like I said, there are standard sort of approaches. Well, I'm taking a step back. Let's make sure, just put it in context. The traditional sample, you measure the presence of different gases, and those gases can be used to classify a fault inside the transformer to tell you to do something, okay? hydrogen on its own is going to always be present independent of the fault. So we call a key gas or an indicator gas that something's not quite right in the transformer. So, but if you look at all the historic data, analytics or decision approaches, it's built upon having all those gases. But the thing is, to do a manual sample takes time and deploying rolling trucks and doing things like this. So the way we look at it is that by putting in a hydrogen sensor, we can then do a detection that says, hey, do an oil sample. So instead of a periodic oil sample process, we want to make it a condition-based process.
Okay.
And then you can, I see a problem, let's find out what it is. And then eventually you can then use that as a correlation to those samples to actually provide better analytics around that decision process.
Fair to say it's a check engine light?
That is one way to look at it, yes. Yes, that is one way to look at it. A check engine light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
but I think the thing is, it's a check engine light that has, as data is collected, will have more information than just check engine.
Yeah, right. Are you doing more than just hydrogen? Are you looking at
one of the things that we've seen in needs in the industry is that additional sensor modalities, right, that are required. So we just released a product that includes hydrogen, that's our core sensing. It includes pressure, temperature, and moisture. And so that product is being announced at this show. And we have clients that want those extra parameters, so we're providing that sensor.
Hydrogen and temp are, moisture is a gradient. Hydrogen and temp tells you a lot. Mm-hmm. You got a problem with temperature, that temp transformer is doing something it shouldn't be doing, and your hydrogen high is probably, I would make it determine that's probably a lot more than a check engine light.
Right.
That's data.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's decision-making data.
Right.
Oh my God, I'm going to lose my job if I don't shut it down.
Yeah, so to support that solution and our other solutions, like I said, we have a data hub that can now connect other sensors to than our sensor. We have a wireless solution, and then we have a back-end cloud instance so that all that data can be collected and displayed and analyzed.
That's excellent.
So those are all four or five products we've launched at this show. But I mean, the way I look at it is that if someone can't hit the easy button and get something done, then it's not a good product. And I think we've achieved that with these products.
I like the easy button.
Yeah, sorry, that's copyright. Staples will be all
they
over
probably
me.
did, but it makes sense. Everybody's using it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, because I know H2Scan, not only do you do, you are ubiquitous in the transformer market. Mm-hmm. I actually did a skunk works finding, I wanted the best monitor, and I found H2Scan by accident. Yeah. Because another vendor was trying to sell me their version of it. I wanted the original, and I found H2Scan. That's where I found Dennis. So it's got
that's what I did too.
It's got a great reputation and a great history. One of the things is I assume it's still the same, that no calibration.
Yep. Well, for the transformer products, we have an auto calibration. It does it itself. Yeah. It's not that it doesn't do a calibration, it does, but it maintains its accuracy over a long term.
You also have a battery room solution.
So our business, from hydrogen shows up in many places and many uses. And so our business is broken. We support the transformer business for measuring hydrogen. We also do area monitoring. So any place where hydrogen is generated, we can detect it and then do mitigation steps. So for battery rooms where you're charging lead acid batteries, that produces hydrogen during the charge cycle. And if it builds up in a facility, then it can cause problems, explosions. So we have a product to measure hydrogen in the area. So even for batteries, obviously when charging can do it, but grid level storage batteries as well. Yeah. But also, fuel cells are used in warehouses for forklifts. They use hydrogen, and they have fueling stations, so that hydrogen can be given off there as well. You have things like electrolyzers that are used to create hydrogen with green energy. They're inside of containers or facilities that if there's leaks, then that hydrogen needs to be detected. So any place you're processing hydrogen and hydrogen can get in the air, we have a solution for detecting it, and then initiating alarms or things to mitigate the hydrogen buildup.
Excellent. The future's so bright in hydrogen, you got to wonder why it's taking us so long to get there, because hydrogen does have a long-term play in the power industry,
Yeah.
not just for where we are today, but eventually being a source of the power that is generation. And there's a lot of people working on that.
Yeah.
H2Scan, when that happens, will be a great part of making it safe.
Yes, indeed. I think any of these major programs that are starting on hydrogen, safety is key, because
Right.
if anything happens that is not that's,
Right.
you don't want to fail early. You want
That's
to
right.
be extra secure early in order to keep these programs going and funded. But there's a lot of money being put into it. And fortunately for H2Scan, our origins were in the oil and gas industry. That's
Right.
where we started, where they use hydrogen, either add hydrogen or take hydrogen out, and they measure it to make these processes. And so fortunately, all the big players that were in oil and gas have moved to this hydrogen energy area. And we have the history and pedigree in that industry. And so we're being designed into a lot of the future hydrogen hubs as a way to measure hydrogen for those applications.
Because you have a process and safety division too that has been doing process and safety hydrogen detection for a very long time.
Right.
Not the same same technology, but significantly more designed products.
Right.
You have to take the application and design it. They're not cheap.
No,
So-
they have to work in hazardous areas,
Yeah.
hazardous locations. So they can't cause an explosion, right? They can't
Yeah.
propagate an explosion in that area. They can't set anything off. So those products are core to that business from a safety standpoint, and we're making the next generation of those products for the hydrogen economy.
Excellent. That's also requires a different form of engineering. It's not R&D. It's a form of engineering that says, customer comes in, they need this. Here's our sensor, but here's how we have to package it, how we have to fit it into their system, right?
Yep.
Is that something that you've added, you've been working on, or is it just the same old guys?
Well, you need a team that can respond quickly and
Yeah.
to challenges and variations. So from a strategy standpoint, we look at the products, but we also look at them as platforms so that you can make variations against the platform.
Yeah.
So, designing a product platform versus just a product allows you to be a little more flexible about the markets you need.
I love when you talk R&D, because that's exactly right.
I mean, that's core, because you can't pivot quick enough. If if everything is bespoke, you need a platform to build on and then put it out there. And our core technology is what is our platform, but the form it takes, the conditions it can meet, its accuracy, all those things are sort of adjusted for the application.
Excellent. Dave, thank you for joining us.
Thanks,
I appreciate
Alan.
it.